Please, my friend. Choose to live. I regret your choice.
Mr. Worf, dispatch a subspace message to Admiral Hansen. We have engaged.
Trekcast.
Hello, welcome to Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dan Lombardo, with me, Daniel Reyes, and, due to the unpredictable nature of podcasting in general, and the unpredictable nature of Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast, Chad Waldo is not here with us. He came down with a case of the space herpes or something. And
coronavirus, probably.
Coronavirus. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. He's not with us. So, Daniel and I are gonna do our best to do the show, just the two of us. As awkward as it'll be. We were just talking that Chad kind of drives the show most of the time, and Daniel and I
comment.
We provide commentary.
Mm-hmm.
So, I tell my friends I'm just a talent. I don't prepare at all.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. So it'll be different, and we've had shows where it's just me and Chad. We've had shows where it's just you and Chad. This is new.
This is new setup.
And who knows? Maybe it'll be great, and we'll give him his walking papers. And, get out of here.
Hey,
But
that's the way we grow this thing. No, I'm kidding.
So I don't know about you, but I got my coffee this morning. It's
I
definitely
just got my water bottle.
It's definitely a coffee morning. So if you hear me slurping, whatever, deal with it.
Right on. So I should probably get to the news stories. So I'll start with the first one.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
First one comes to us from StarTrek.com, and the headline reads, Hero Collector logs into Star Trek Online. So last year at the big Star Trek convention, STLV, they announced that they were going to start making models of some of the Star Trek Online ships.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're finally out.
Okay.
So they will finally come out this May. They're starting out with 2 original ships from the video game. One of the ships, it kind of almost looks like the Discovery, but white, and it's pretty cool looking. And then the other one is kind of like a tricked out version of the Enterprise, but instead of dual nacelles in the back, there's 4 of them, 2 on each side. Yeah, so it looks weird. But these things are going to run for anything for about $23 each. So if you have a big ship collection and you want to add more, keep an eye out in May.
Okay.
Yeah. The news story. To be fair, the news stories this week are not that great. The shows are out. They're done promoting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The other news story comes to us from TrekMovie.com. And apparently, there's all sorts of new products you can buy on the Star Trek official store.
Really?
Oh, yes. They are cashing in big time. They've got all sorts of drink sets, like really nice glasses. There's one that says Quark's Bar on it.
Nice.
And it's got the logo. There's disco cups, which I'm sure you're ready to get.
Yeah. What about apparel? I'm an apparel guy. I always have.
Yeah, there you go. This article is just all about the glasses. Okay. So, I'm sure there is. I've seen hoodies have been pretty big lately that look like the Star Trek uniforms. So that's kind of cool. But right now they're really promoting this glass. And our last news story, the headline is, in Massachusetts, a scientist is preparing to take the tricorder to Mars. They're also key to the Mars 2020 expedition. So basically, there's this company that the scientist is heading up. Astronomy Darby Denaire is the company, and what they're trying to do is basically create a tricorder. It would have a database of samples of geological information, so that when other scientists or astronauts or whatever are looking at samples from Mars, it would have that back catalog right there to go. So very, very rudimentary to what we know, but it's definitely a step forward. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all the news stories, and we got through that way too quick.
That's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's okay, because, there's some shows where, we're 25 minutes in, and it's still the news.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. This may be a quick show, I think.
That's fine.
Fine. We also got some feedback.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
From the Facebook group. So if you want to follow us, join our Facebook group. Just search for Trekcast. You'll find the group, and it's a lot of fun in there. We do all sorts of craziness. This week I asked for questions, comments, and bad Valentine's Day gift ideas. So there were quite a few. But let's see some of the questions. The Vulcan Legolas, the man Dan was looking for, or the tactical hologram? That's from Juan.
Yeah, I think I responded to that.
Yeah.
He was, I think he's referring to that I was saying last week that there's no alpha males on this show that are shown in a positive light. And right. I think he was saying, well, there you go, Vulcan Legolas. And my response is, yeah. And he was raised completely by women.
A lot of people are very excited that 7 of 9 is back. Let's see. Terrence says, what the heck is up with barefoot surfing down a Borg cube corridor?
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah.
They didn't do a good job of explaining, what that was. Why, sliding down the hallway. I mean, is it something special about a Borg cube? I mean, I was waiting for them to say something like, oh, there's, only 0.87 gravity in this area, so you slide so much better, and that's why it's cool. Or no, it's just people taking their shoes off and running down the hallway. I didn't get it.
Yeah, I think it's just supposed to be like one of those, like, here's a way we can have fun in this Borg cube, and that's it. But yeah. Whatever. Mike wants to know, how angry will everybody be when the blonde doctor betrays Picard and alerts Admiral O to the Synth's hideout? Oh, I fully expect. Yeah.
You think she's purposely going to do that, or you think she's going to accidentally do that because she's an idiot and allowed her to place a tracker on her or something? You think she's going to betray her, or betray him, or that through her absent-mindedness or something?
I think she's going to betray him just because.
Really?
When they first bring her on board, Raffi even says, like, so you just let her on board in a security screen, you know nothing, you just let her on board? I think that lays that in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be a malicious betrayal. I think she's going to just be doing her job.
Yeah.
So it's not vindictive as much as she's just following orders. And Picard will kind of like forgive her, and then they'll be in future.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. That's just the feeling I got. Yeah. Let's see. Is Star Trek Picard really Star Trek 3 The Search for Spock, aka The Search for Data's Daughters? It's kind of getting that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting that way, But yeah, so that's all the news stories we have, or the feedback. Yeah, if you go into the Facebook group though, Mike has got quite a long rant about Picard and why it's angering him.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
When did he post that? I'm wondering if I saw that or not.
About 3 hours ago.
Okay, I might not have seen that.
Yeah, it's really, really long.
Can you paraphrase some of it, maybe?
Let's see. I'll get a little bit. Starting to get the disco vibes in regards to a wasting of time on irritating subplots instead of fleshing out and progressing the main story. I don't know who Patrick Stewart is channeling for this performance, but it isn't Jean-Luc Picard. They used Picard's personality traits to set the foundation of the story, but they did a complete personality switch out. I agree with that. He's changed. Yeah. But I also think he's older and people change as they grow. So I kind of have forgiven some of that.
He's kind of changed twice because they're showing us Picard now, and when I say now, I don't mean 2020. I mean now, in current time in the timeline. But they're also showing us 14 years prior to that, and he's different in both of those time frames, both of which are different from the Picard that we know from TNG, and even Picard in the movies was different than TNG Picard. So, the many faces of Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, it's mostly about his rant is mostly about the personality change in Picard.
Yeah.
So, I definitely see that. I agree with you that it's just a person evolving. Like that's hard to do. Well, I guess we should just get into the topic.
Sure.
Let's just review the episode.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
So in this episode, we start with a flashback. It's Picard looking like he's on Fantasy Island with his white suit. I mean, dude, I had so many jokes. It looks like Fantasy Island. He looks like Cartel Picard.
Yep. Yep. He's welcoming us to Jurassic Park. It's obviously not after Labor Day because he's still wearing white.
He's about to walk into his coffee fields with that outfit.
Yep.
It's crazy, but whatever. He's all in white and does not care. Yeah. That's fine. So it's just showing him back in the day with the Romulans, refugees getting settled, and he's just helping out. He meets he works with a gang of warrior nuns.
Yeah.
I forgot the name. Something Kalat, or
I don't know.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It sounded like a Ninja Turtle to me. But so he works with them. They've got this interesting greeting where they put their hands together, then fold them out.
Yeah.
Because they believe in absolute candor. So no white lies, no nothing, just unbridled truth at all times. So that's why they open their hands. It's to
which is funny because that's very Vulcan of them.
Yeah.
But for the opposite reason.
Right.
Not because we're suppressing emotion and embracing logic, but because we are acknowledging our emotions and how irrelevant they are to the world around us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very Vulcan and it's very not Vulcan all at the same time.
Well, it's also something to do with because they're against the Tal Shiar, so it's something about like the Romulan society of always wanting to keep secrets.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay, whatever. But then Picard gets the notice that the synths have attacked Mars, and so he has to get out of there. And that begins my biggest problem with the episode. My absolute biggest. So this episode was directed by Jonathan Frakes, just to be fair. And he knows better. But when Picard is saying goodbye, and he's telling him he'll be back, he starts walking away and is beamed off.
Yeah.
Why did he walk away? He's being beamed off. He called the ship to tell them, beam me off.
Mm-hmm.
Why walk? You're not going anywhere.
I think that's a subconscious thing. I think he's leaving this group of people. So he's walking away. We've already established kind of through visuals that the modern transporter, your coordinates are irrelevant. They know where you are. And we've seen multiple people being beamed while they're moving, while they're walking, while they're running. And actually, if you notice I think it was what's the name of Rios' ship? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I forget. Yeah.
Okay, but if you look at the transporter pad, it looks like it's turned on its side. Okay.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So usually there's those 5 or 6 circles on the floor of the transporter pad, and those are on the wall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, in the past it was okay. We're beaming up. There's a set of coordinates that they go to beam back to the ship. I guess just to make it easier for the transporter operator. You're in the same spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we saw during that fight they were beaming out of midair, and yeah, I think that was a visual thing. I'm walking away.
Yeah, I get it was a visual thing, but like,
well, and he's literally, as the show goes on, and you see that he doesn't come back.
Right.
Okay. He essentially turned his back on them, and he literally turned his back on them.
Right.
When he left.
Right. So.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just one of those things. It bothered me, but whatever. So then the show open hits. We come back out. What was right after that? Was it we're on the board cube?
I don't know, man. I only watched it once. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. This weekend's been kind of crazy. I turned 35.
Nice.
Yesterday, so
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I turned 35
yeah.
for the 8th year in a row.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, the 8th anniversary of your 35th celebration.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how my mom used to put it. So,
what did you think of the scenes between him and the boy?
I thought they were cute in that, I've got nephews that age.
Yeah.
So that kind of got me, like they sit there and get all excited when I read them a book or hang out with them. So I get that,
Mm-hmm.
I thought the little kid actor was great. He's just a little kid and, excited, and that's all I needed to be. He's not winning an Oscar for that, but that doesn't matter.
Well, nobody's winning an Oscar for Star Trek. We know that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I thought those scenes were nice. Just showing Picard's compassion.
Mm-hmm.
He clearly cares about the Romulans.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little bit why he cares, because the last we saw them, they were fighting and they had cloned him and
yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit of a leap that he all of a sudden is so caring and the good shepherd to them, but
yeah.
Yeah. But I also know, like, there's been several episodes where he just wants to preserve life at any cost.
Yeah.
So you could argue it's just that,
So I watched those scenes with him and the boy.
Yeah.
And Picard never had children.
Right.
We know, even though for 7 years he was terrible around them for the most part, in the later seasons he grew as a person and he was better equipped to deal with children.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the first feature film with him, we literally saw that his biggest regret in life is not having a family,
right,
and not being a father. And then to see him in that situation where, hey, we have this boy, we need to find a good home for him. And the boy obviously loves him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he opens his home to 2 Romulan spies, but leaves this kid on that planet. I was kind of like, what the fuck, JL?
Well, the Romulan spies, if you look at the comic book, they just show up. It's not like he brought them with him.
But even though this is 14 years, okay,
Right.
They show up at some point. He resigned himself to the fact that I'm going to allow these people to, live with me here on Earth, here on the chateau, and I was disappointed with him that he didn't go back for the boy.
Yeah, I was too. I thought that could have been, better handled.
And when he sees him growing up, he's like, "Oh, that's so and so. Oh, you never found a home for him?"
Mm.
And I'm sitting there as the viewer going, "Oh, you never dropped him an email to find out?"
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on, man.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. After that, Raffi finds out that they're heading back to that Romulan colony. She even makes a joke that Picard has to use a starship to go on a guilt trip. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah. I just thought that was a great. I thought that was a good.
No,
line,
it was.
So,
it was.
Yeah. So they go back to the planet, and once again, people are not happy to see Picard.
Yeah.
He just gets yelled at and treated badly. There's even signs at some of the buildings that say Romulans only. There's been we find out that there's a big Romulans only movement, apparently. There's even like some warlord that's running the planet that has an old bird of prey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough times for the Romulans in their new area. Picard goes to visit the warrior nuns, the Clot Malat. I found her a recap, and now it says the name. And he talks to them and says that he needs help, and they tell him that they're busy basically keeping the peace in the town, but he should talk to his adoptive son.
Yeah, take the boy that you should have took with you 14 years ago.
Right. And so we get about a good solid 15 minutes of angry teen angst, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We discover that the boy, what is his name? Oh, Aaron.
I don't know.
Forget.
I can't remember.
It takes me a while to remember these names.
Where's Chad when you need him?
Yeah, no kidding, right? Samurai elf, basically.
Okay.
He tells Picard, like, you just abandoned me, so now it's my turn to abandon you, and it becomes that deal. In the meantime, the crew is being attacked by the warlord and his bird of prey. Oh no, we completely skipped the Borg cube stuff. We also go to the Borg cube and we find some ancient prophecy that the sister is watching on video or something, talking about there was these demons will be unchained by the call of the destroyer, which is what the sister was called before, the destroyer. So I feel like this is all over the place, but whatever.
It totally is.
Yeah. So basically, she kind of like freaks out that she's been referred to that. I'm guessing the demons unchained will be the other sins, but I guess we'll see. And then that's when her Romulan boyfriend takes her ice skating in a Borg cube. Yeah. And he tells her something about she was, he asked her, you were on this one ship way back when, right? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, there's no record that you were ever on that ship.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's going to be something pivotal later, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's supposed to also let us think that her memories are fake.
Yes, her memories are fake, and yeah, they touched on this. That she didn't exist until 3 years ago. I can't remember which character had established that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so her memories are fake, and then we go back to Picard and Elnor. That's his name, Elnor, and basically Picard is done and he's ready to leave the planet because he feels like he's not going to get any help. And that's there's like some security net that they can't transport right away. They have to wait for openings.
Yeah, so he decides he's thirsty, and he's going to go sit down at a private club, regardless of the fact that the sign says members only.
Yeah. Well, he's got 7 minutes to kill, so let's start a civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, people don't want a civil rights movement in 7 minutes. Yes. So they lash out, and that's when Elrond comes to Picard's rescue, and saves him. They get back to the ship, and Picard, admonishes him for killing the aggressor. Although you could argue that Picard was the aggressor, kind of, for starting shit. But and
he didn't just kill him. He lopped his head clear off his body.
Clean it off. It's done.
Which
done.
After 55 years, I've always thought to myself, if there's one thing Star Trek doesn't have enough of, it's head lopping.
Beheadings.
It's beheadings. Yeah.
Yeah. There needs to be more beheadings in Star Trek. Yeah. So they get on the ship, and they're still being attacked by that bird of prey, and they're trying to outmaneuver it. We get more holograms. We even get a hologram pilot that talks in Spanish, which makes me very happy.
I just want to point out that I predicted this. That there's going to be a constant appearance of new holographic crew members showing up. So let's count down. What have we had so far? We have the emergency medical hologram,
right?
The navigational hologram,
the hospitality
hologram,
mm-hmm.
And what was this guy? Was he tactical or was he like navigational or like the pilot? What was he?
So in the Will Wheaton show, they said that he was a tactical hologram, but in the actual show, the hologram basically says, "I'll pilot, you shoot," to the captain.
Okay.
So I think it's just whatever he needs.
Yeah. So we're up to 4. He's got 4. Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because the hospitality hologram says that the captain likes to keep his own company.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah.
Now I'd be curious to find out how this whole system works. Can he have more than one of these holograms active at the same time, or is it the same hologram with different settings?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out if we have a couple holograms moving around.
Yeah.
So.
Or if we come to find out that Tuesday night is the holographic poker game in
right
in the mess hall.
Yeah.
That would be cool. TNG always had the poker game.
It would be neat if Picard plays poker with some of these, like the holograms or something. Mm. They even they recreate his study in the holodeck.
Yeah.
So basically that means we paid a lot for this set. We're going to keep using it.
Well, that, and sometimes I wonder if they write certain things into the show so that they can make the preview, the teaser, a certain way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. For instance, the very first teaser that we saw was 7 of 9 in his in his home. Yeah. And now we know that's not his home. That's probably the recreation on the ship.
Right. Yeah, it's that. So they're fighting the bird of prey. It looks like they're going to do okay, but it's not going to be easy. But then out of nowhere, a second ship comes in, kind of looking like an X-wing, and just even Rio says, "Wow, it's a really good pilot. It's an Oakley ship, but that's a good pilot." And then that pilot notifies them that their ship is about to blow up and they need help. So they transport the pilot over, and dun dun dun, it's 7 of 9. Yeah, and she says,
Yeah. Did you see that coming?
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I knew she was going to be on the show, but I didn't think that was her right there.
I honestly didn't even like start thinking, oh, who could it be? I was just like,
Yeah.
all right, just whatever, let's go. So we got 7, and she's on the ship, and that's your big hook for next week to see what Picard and 7 have to talk about.
Yeah.
And why she doesn't like him now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she didn't look happy to see him either. No one's happy to see him.
That's pretty much how it works. That's how it works on this show. Different ladies stroll in and yell at him and stroll out.
That's right. That's right. They all hate him. So
I mean, I'm just waiting for Kate Mulgrew to show up, yell at him for a few minutes, and
I mean, is Beverly going to yell at him? Probably. Why not? Is Deanna going to yell at him for no reason? Why not? But so the thing I really want to talk about though is the preview for next week. Did you see that after the end of the show?
I don't know if I saw it, because I feel like when the show is over, there's a ridiculous amount of commercials before the preview.
Oh, mine doesn't do that.
No?
The preview comes right away.
Well, refresh my memory. Maybe I did see it.
Oh, you would remember if you saw it, because when I tell you what
yes. Yeah.
So we learned in the preview that
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah. Space Pimp. Which, at last, dude is wearing a giant hat with a giant feather, and they go to Free Crowd. Space Pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got vape pens, we've got swearing, we've got everybody angry.
Oh, the swearing! I didn't even cover that. We got another F-bomb this week.
Yeah.
And why? It was Rios saying that he hates his own hologram. I hate that fucking guy. That's what we got. Why? Why? That doesn't like further the plot at all. As much as I didn't like the Admiral doing it, she was really pissed off and had a legitimate reason to be pissed off, and Picard was being an incredibly arrogant douche at the time. Mm-hmm. So while I didn't like it, I totally understood why. This guy is just letting everyone know that he hates this hologram over here, which he obviously programmed himself.
Right. I know.
I felt like they wrote the episode, and then at the last minute they were like, "Oh, we didn't put any F-bombs in this one. Read the episode over, find a place where we can insert an F-bomb because we have to stay edgy."
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. The one thing that I thought was kind of weird was, so I don't know if you saw it, there was an Instagram live with one of the producers, Michael Chibon or whatever his name is. No,
I didn't.
And so he addressed the swearing.
Okay.
And he said that basically, just because it's the future and people, have all these ideals doesn't mean that people change. And so, of course, you're going to have swearing. Of course, you're going to have angry people. Of course, you're going to have these outbursts of emotion. So that was their justification. To which I would say that was the point, though, to give us something to aspire to, that things would change. So, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
They also wouldn't swear in the same way that we swear now.
No.
If you got in a time machine and went back 300 years, sure they were cussing and swearing, but they weren't.
They had different words.
Yeah, they had different words. They weren't using them the same way we are. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like there's that in Shakespeare it says, "I bite my thumb at you," and that was like flipping somebody off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, exactly, just like that. Just like that. So.
Oh, for those listening to the audio podcast, I just did the fist bump maneuver from friends. It was the code. It was the code for. Yeah, if you don't know, it doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. So, what did you think of the episode overall?
It's okay.
Yeah,
it was okay. Things are starting to happen.
Did you like the warrior nuns?
I don't know.
So, as the series progresses, here's my one thing I'm really afraid of.
What's that?
They're gonna answer all the questions about the Borg.
Yeah.
And I really don't want them to.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna lose so much steam about the Borg if you answer everything.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to answer everything. I think there's, well, I hope they're smart enough.
I hope so too.
Not to do that.
But they could be high on that snakeweed. Just writing those scripts.
Yeah. I just hope if they do tell us everything about the Borg, it's at least a good story. It's not some contrived piece of garbage.
Yeah.
I think. Well, the Borg aren't from the Alpha Quadrant or the Beta Quadrant. So they're from the Delta Quadrant. So I don't really see how they can tell us everything. Because how could they find out everything? They have one cube from a huge, vast collective. One cube that was cut off from the collective 15 years ago or whatever. Then again, we have 7 of 9. If you want to know the origin of the Borg, ask her. Every Borg knows what every other Borg knows.
Right.
Right? It's a group consciousness.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can't think how she wouldn't know the origin
unless
of the
they
Borg.
don't even
unless they don't know. Yeah. Unless wow. We're totally in sync there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully
they
that's
don't
the
even
answer. Know. Yeah. So
whatever.
So I can't wait for them to go to Cloud City or Free Cloud or whatever that name is and find Maddox just coked out of his mind because they're all dressed like space pimps. Did you see that Picard had like a eye patch?
Yeah.
So they went to Party City and they're gonna just land on this place.
They went to Party City.
Yeah.
No, they went to Spirit Halloween, which was in an old Toys R Us that closed down a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I think I'm more excited to talk about that episode next week. Just whatever. Trying to think of any tidbits from the Will Wheaton show. One of the things they mentioned is the actor that plays Rios. He was talking about how exciting it was for him to play all the different holograms.
Mm-hmm.
Because as an actor they like challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for him that was very intriguing about the role. Another thing that they brought up was it's very similar to Orphan Black. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
No.
So Orphan Black was a show maybe like 5 years ago. And in it was like this girl had been cloned and all the clones were completely different. But so the same actress played all the different clones. And it was a really cool show in that she did a lot of scenes just by herself, interacting with herself and everything, and it was really well done. So the performance is very into that. Will Wheaton again, still way too excited about everything.
When I watched the show, when I watched the episode, then I went to watch the Will Wheaton show, and it wasn't on there yet. Does that drop like the next day usually?
I've noticed it takes like an hour or two after the card drops, and then it drops.
Because I got worried. I thought maybe his show got canceled.
No. Typically I find it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is on CBS, but they also release it onto YouTube. So I don't know what the thinking on that is, but that's what they do. And then they also had like a breakdown with their visual effects department, how they, lay out a scene and everything, and do the CGI for it. that was kind of interesting to watch as somebody who's done stuff like that.
So I'd be interested to see, and we obviously haven't seen the episode yet, but I'd be interested to see how much Pimp Daddy cosplay there will be at at Star Trek Las Vegas this year.
Oh, I hope. I hope.
Which, sometimes you see some really clever cosplay, and you're like, man, why didn't I think of that? But I remember seeing a guy years ago at Star Trek Las Vegas, and he had the Gorn mask, and then with it, and it just, it's just your face and your neck, so it's obviously not a full costume. If you were going to cosplay the Gorn, you would have to construct the rest of it. But instead, he wore like the white Elvis jumpsuit with all the sequins and the giant bell bottoms and the half cape on the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll have to find a picture of that.
Oh, that's awesome. I've always said just get what, like, because you can buy a 3D printed version of the portable EMH, the portable emitter.
Yes. Yep.
And just throw that onto whatever you're wearing. Boom, you're a hologram.
Yep. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So, whatever. But did you have anything else you wanted to add about the episode, or?
Not really. Like I said, I only watched it once. I had a very busy weekend. I meant to watch it again, but just didn't get around to it.
Yeah, I think it's more set up. It's a little bit of progression, but definitely it's like a lot more setup. I think next week we're gonna start really moving. It seems like
they're gonna have to, because it's 10 episodes. That's number 4. We're approaching the halfway point. So
yeah, they've got to move. Yeah.
Yeah, they got to do something.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I know this isn't really a Starfleet story, but I would like to see some more of Starfleet. I really would. Yeah. I would like to see some of the modern ships. I would like to see some modern Starfleet officers in action. I know that's not really the story they're telling here, but that's what we all fell in love with when we got into this whole thing. So, I'd like to see some of that. Yeah, I would too. So I hope we get some of that. And even if it's flashbacks, even if we see some 14 years ago action, I'd be good with that. Yeah, I would too. That would be great. So I would love some Riker flashback scenes. Oh, that would be awesome. Kind of see him on the Titan or something. Yeah. Because we never got to see that. I still want Geordi. I want Geordi. I want Worf. Yeah. Come back to us, Geordi. Come back. I don't think we'll ever get number 1 again. The dog. I think the dog's done. Nah, he'll be in the last episode. Yeah, he'll be in the last episode when he goes home or something. Yeah, something like that. Just that's his dog and that's it. Yeah. All right. I think he should have brought the dog with him and then left him with Riker. I would like to see Riker calling number 1. Number 1, come here. Yeah. There you go. Or just give Elrond the dog. Like, here, you didn't have a family. Here's your dog. Yeah. Here's your dog. Every boy deserves a dog. There you go. Well, I guess that basically wraps it up. And we'll be back next week with Chad. Wow, this is the shortest episode. I know, in a long time. Feels like a full half day. All right. So sorry for the awkwardness, people. Yeah. Chad will be back. Chad will be back next week. Yeah, that's right. And we'll talk about Space Pimp. Space Pimp will be great. So we'll see you next week. All right, very good.
Well, there you have it, another episode in the can. Check us out at Trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews, subscribe to us, we'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.